Thank you. I was listening to Selena. I was like, okay, where should I find my inspiration stories? um, so if I really understand the composition of our audience with the show of hands, we have about 40% entrepreneurs, 40% investors, and about 20% intermediaries. I think that's that's a pretty good assessment. It's important because I wasn't sure whether I should focus the presentation on the entrepreneurial experience with all the challenges that we go through, or the business opportunities with all the return that you can get if you get it right. But I'll try to really find a good middle. So I'll start by giving you a little bit of background for myself and then for the company, talk about our accomplishment today, and also the challenges that we're facing. And eventually we can explore the opportunities ahead of us as a company, both as an entrepreneur as a company. So my name is Nvalaye Kourouma. There's a name before that is silent, and it gives something like Nvalaye. I'm originally from the Ivory Coast. And I grew up in the Ivory Coast, and I went to school, my undergrad in the Ivory Coast. And I started my professional experience also in the Ivory Coast. And I defined my professional experience as being an African-wide experience. I was very lucky. I started working with Coca-Cola in the mid-90s, and I was in charge of the marketing for Coca-Cola for West and Central Africa. And my last assignment with Coca-Cola was somewhere in 98, 99, in the 2000, where I was head of operation for Central Africa. So Mid-Africa is composed of the two Congos, so the big one and the small one, Rwanda and Burundi. And from there, I've always wanted to really be involved in something that could be transformational for the continent. I really wanted to play a key role in using business as a conduit to transform the way things are happening and really capture the opportunities on the continent. And I wanted to make sure that I have both the international exposure and the international education to be able to do that. So I came in 2002 in the US for my MBA, and I went to the same school as Selena, Harvard Business School. I graduated in 2005, and I started working with Citibank. Through my experience with Citibank, I was involved in a test about mobile payment. So, there was a migration, the evolution of financial services went through the branches to the ATM, and then online, and now the phone. And there was this test happening in New York about how you use the phone as a payment device, and it was happening on the subway. It was a very successful test. I mean, about 50-60% of positive response. But I was looking at the results, and I was looking at the experience and thinking, geez, this is great. But you apply that in the US, it's just an incremental move. Because you're moving from a society where you have ATMs and banks everywhere, everybody is doing his payment online, but take the same technology and apply that in an emerging market. And it's a transformational move that you're producing. And many technologies, the same can be said for many technologies, but usually you don't have the infrastructure back home to apply the technology. But for once, you had enough infrastructure in place with the mobile phone, 40% penetration, fastest growing market in the world. There are not many areas where Africa leads. So when you find one, you have to celebrate as much as you can. We're not the largest market. China is still the largest market, but we are definitely the fastest growing market. So from there, I decided that I had the experience, I had the knowledge, and I had to really pursue the opportunity. So I left Citibank in 2007, and I incorporated Afric Xpress, and that was the beginning of the adventure. The accomplishment today, we went through all the challenges of an entrepreneur, but putting the team together, I was able to really get some classmates as well as some very experienced technical people with me. So we put a very, very solid team together. Raising the seed fund was very challenging, but we were able to raise our first million and the second million, and very challenging, but that's, once you find really the opportunity and the good story, you can get the fund. But the interesting thing is, all our investors were US-based with very little experience or little knowledge about the African market. But they saw the opportunity. So today, we launched in Ghana. We launched in live since May 2009. We've processed more than 2.5, 2.6 million in transaction at this point. We have about close to 100,000 customers interacting with the platform on a continuous basis. So these are the accomplishments. One last point in terms of accomplishment, which is important. We have about, let's say, 20 employees, and we are impacting, because we have agents who serve as our distribution point. So we are impacting about 1,000 families on a continuous basis. Now, the challenges, and I think that's where this forum is very important. Once you establish the basic of the business, you need now to scale up. So currently we have the technology, we know it's working, we have the market, it's really generating the type of revenue. But once you really want to scale up, you need to have the growth fund. And the missing middle becomes very important at this point, because the challenges that you're facing once you go out and start raising funds is, especially for their continent, you have the higher hand investors, plus 10 million, 15 million. And they're looking for cash flow positive companies. And then you have the lower hand, $500,000, 1 million. So neither of them can answer your question. You are in the middle and you get a little bit stuck. So that's the big challenge that you face. There are many opportunities, and we can certainly talk as we're getting into the question part. But I think the forum was very important to really point out the fact that, one, it's certainly challenging to establish companies on the continent, but once you really start and you can make it happen, the impact is considerable, both in terms of financing and social impact. Thank you.